everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we are back for another brand new video. That's right, another video, ladies and gentlemen. The videos are coming thick and fast right now, but so are the opportunities of this Rangers team to get back to what we know they can be, and that is the champions. And the team standing to the opposite end of thing that's going to be standing there trying to slow us down and stop us from reaching that level and having that performance that we need to turn everything back on is of course going to be Ross County. And I thought we're just going to dive right into this video actually and start off with the oppositional preview and have a look at this Ross County side that currently finds himself 10th as I'm recording today's video with only 1 point from their opening 2 games. And Ross County actually come into this game versus Rangers on the back of a truly abysmal performance at Easter Road where they travelled up there with the old 5-4-1 formation. Yes, they're back to playing that rigid, pathetic way. They went there to keep the back door shut and offer nothing at the back, but ladies and gentlemen, Hibs slapped them senseless. Genuinely, the game was over in the opening 33 minutes of the game because after just 33 minutes, it was 3-0. Despite Ross County going and trying to play that negative style way of football, Hibs just tore them apart, carved them open and bullied them in every single aspect of the game. And I'll tell you son, if the game was now like done and dusted and the Hibs didn't take the foot off the gas just after 33 minutes of the game, that could have been ending. That could have been a cricket score because Hibs ended up finishing the game with over 18 shots, ladies and gentlemen. And Ross County, they finished the game with 0 shots on target. A truly terrible day at the office for Ross County. One I'm hoping to see repeated tomorrow, if I'm honest with you. But my bias slipping out there to know that to one side. It is weird to look at this Ross County side and speak at them in that way because if you watch the channel over the last couple of years, especially last year, especially when Yogi came in and Big John Hughes was the manager at the helm and they had Stephen Kelly in the middle of the park, we know how good he can be. I talked this team up because they were trying to actually play football from the back to the front. You know John Hughes and how he likes to set up his squad, and I genuinely think those two names there, John Hughes and Stephen Kelly, were absolutely vital in keeping Ross County in the league. And now that they've got neither of them, they look a shell of themselves last season and they've reverted back to their old previous ways. And it's almost like, you know, the way that they're setting up and the way they're preparing these games and the way they went in to the last 2 games, it's almost like, and I know it's extremely early and everything like that, ladies and gentlemen, it's only 2 games gone, a lot can happen in a season, but so far it almost looks as if they've got one eye on the championship with the standard of football they're playing and, of course, the turnover of players they had in the summer, where established player after established player after established player all left the football club during the summer, and that's also not including young Stephen Kelly, who hasn't went back yet, even though there is a couple of rumours about a potential loan, blah 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 blah. I don't think that will be happening because of the standard of football they're currently playing. Now, they have added a couple of very interesting players like Ross Callahan. We know him obviously from last season when he scored against us for Hamilton. He's a very tidy player, but overall, ladies and gentlemen, this is a Ross County side that really seems to be stuck in transition and doesn't know their strengths and weaknesses as of yet under the new gaffer. And I think that struggle for identity under the new gaffer and still trying to learn what they're good and what they're not good at is why in the opening 2 games of the SPFL season they've lined up 2 completely different ways. I mean, in the very first game versus St Johnstone, they actually got a good point in my opinion with a 3-5-2 formation, flooding the middle of the park, making it very difficult. But again, at that Easter Road performance, they went in almost with their heads down already, playing a very negative 5-4-1, just punting long balls up to Big White, and they got what they deserved. But that experience versus Hibs and just how awfully they were taken apart and just offered nothing in the game has sort of left things in this strange balance coming to this game versus Rangers, because you know for a fact they'll be coming in and looking this as a free hit. Listen, this is a team that's heavily tipped to go down this season with the pieces and everything that they've actually lost. So they'll be coming into this game with absolutely no pressure. But again, ladies and gentlemen, that can sometimes be freeing for a team like this. And given how badly it went against them in that match, they could flip it and they could try and revert back to the 3-5-2 that they had on opening day. There's genuinely no common consensus so far, but in my opinion, my gut tells me they will revert and they will stick with it and just see what they can do if they can keep that back door shut and try to frustrate the life out of Rangers and let the pressure build in the game, the longer Rangers than they actually score. So that's what I'm expecting from the Ross County side, a very dogged side, a very defensive side, and they're coming in again with a free hit. And that's all I've really got to say on tomorrow's opposition. Now it's time to flip over and talk about Rangers, which means yes, it's time to smile. But I actually do want to start the Rangers side of today's video, sort of picking up where I left off for the Ross County side, talking about the mental aspect, the pressure, etc. Because they didn't have any coming in this, right? Because everything we've talked about so far. But it's the exact opposite now for Rangers, because not only is the expectation a win on Sunday in a tough environment versus a team that is going to be very, very defensive, but the pressure is on there to win comfortably and dominantly and show that we can be the team from last season. Because I know no one will want to relive this, ladies and gentlemen, but our last away performance was Dundee United in the league, and it was absolutely shambolic. And that memory and that feeling needs to be eradicated, not only for the fans' perspective and everything like that, but also from the players, because they know it's not been good enough. Gerrard knows it's not been good enough, and he's been very vocal when he's pressed ahead of this game that this needs to be the turning point for this Rangers team to get back to playing to the standard that has been created and morphed and evolved over the last couple seasons. So for me, coming into this game of football, it is more of a mental battle than anything else, in my opinion, and I genuinely think the first 20 minutes of this game is so damn vital. We need to start off fast. We need to start with the exact same approach that Hibs go, firing everybody forward, no fanning about in the middle of the park, get the ball forward, hunt them down, didn't give them a space, because the blueprint's there from last week. They couldn't handle the pressure at all, so we shouldn't be sitting off them. We should need to just go right after them, get a couple of goals, and kill not only this game off early, but all this nonsense about this team not being able to handle this, or this team not being able to handle that. Narratives need to be destroyed tomorrow, and it's on the players to go ahead and do that. And you know, son, that sort of mindset that I've got kind of rattling about the old noggin right now kind of leads me to one player in particular I do want to speak about, because this is someone that's been very vocal, and for me is turning into a real leader of this Rangers team, and that is going to be our boy Hagi. Because look at this game on paper. If this was last season, what would we all be thinking? Oh, Hagi's probably going to be benched for this game. But ladies and gentlemen, for me, there's no reason why he should be benched. He is evolving so damn quickly. He's getting stronger. He's adapting to the league. And he's willing to be that guy as well and take the pressure and try to be the creative spark. And him in the middle of the park playing that number 8 role, whatever number you want to slap on it, has been sensational. When we've looked like the team from last season and we've looked at our best, it's been at the feet of our boy Hagi. So I'm hoping that he is able to start this game and to continue his rise and the importance of being and starting for Rangers. And I just wanted to talk about Hagi very briefly in today's video, because to me he's always been very, very talented, but he was used as a talented rotational option, but that needs to be flung away now, ladies and gentlemen. He's went from that talented rotational option role to now, in my opinion, being the first name on the team sheet. But speaking of the players, we've not only had the likes of Hagi speaking about and they need to do more, they owe it to the fans, they're going to take that responsibility, but we also had Leon Balogun in the press conference, which if you haven't seen on the official Rangers YouTube channel, definitely go and check it. Absolutely spot on. There was no hiding for him, there was no cliches. He was willing to take the blame, he was willing to take that pressure. It is on the players to turn this round. It's no tactics, formations, managers, coaching staff, it's nothing else but the players, and I loved that he was able to take that and no give us any BS and that as well. It shows that the mindset in the dressing room is absolutely spot on, and they're itching to get back to their best, just like we are all scratching and jumping off the walls, waiting for them to get back to their best. But as we are speaking to the players, let's transition into tomorrow's game and give you some important updates regarding who's available, who's ruled out, etc, etc, to help us with the odd game tomorrow. And I think we'll start off with some bad news and work our way up from there. The first one, and the first bit of bad news that we actually need to break down and discuss, is all about our boy Bacuna. Now, don't worry, he's not injured or anything like that, but he is pretty much ruled out of the game tomorrow, as the gaffer kind of echoed something we said in yesterday's player profile and reaction video. He hasn't played any football since like June the 15th. He's not been a part of the Huddersfield plan, so he's very far away in terms of readiness to go out there and play football. So it's going to be a bit of a patient job with him to get him up to speed for it. But don't be panicking or anything like that when you see him not involved in the match day squad on Sunday versus Ross County, as he's just ruled out until he gets up to speed and fit enough. The next bit of news is actually about our boy Ryan Jack, who is progressing very well. And if I'm honest with you, that's the slowdown period. Remember we talked about that on the channel, where we had to just slow down a little bit with Ryan Jack. That is now over, so I think he's actually in a very similar boat to Mr. Bacuna. It's just about getting minutes and everything in his legs behind the scenes, getting him fully fit, and then just unleashing him on it. And Gerrard says he cannot wait for that, as he is the standard setter at Rangers. So it's great news to hear that the slowdown period and that's over. We're almost there with Ryan Jack, and truly I can't wait to see him back in that midfield. The next bit of news is our boy Fashion Sakala, who has been ruled out again with a niggle in his groin. And it was actually Steven Gerrard and that took the blame for that, because he obviously came in late. I think they worked him too hard, or that's what Gerrard has came out and said, that they tried to give him too much too soon, and it's just caused a little bit of a flare up. And right now it's nothing serious, so they're just calming it down and waiting for it to go back to normal before, or they could actually make it any worse if they force him to get involved in this and this. So they're just being cautious with him. So he is also ruled out, which is a real blow, because he looks a player when we're able to get him on that part. So fingers crossed it's not too long before we see Sakala back in the old mixer. And speaking of back in the old mixer, by the way, we had some good news and some encouraging news about our boy Nnamdi Ofoborh, who you'll remember we got some devastating news just a couple of weeks ago when something flared up on a scan with his heart, and it genuinely could have been horrendous for the lad. It could have been career over, it could have been this. Everyone was speculating, everybody was worried about him, but right now the way it's gone is he's had a lot of other tests, nothing else has came back as negative or anything comes bad, and Steven Gerrard said they're waiting for a couple more results, and they're actually waiting for some good news at the end of it. So that is absolutely sensational, that we might see Nnamdi Ofoborh back in the mix, and whatever flagged up before may have just been some kind of error or anything like that. So let's keep our fingers crossed for Nnamdi Ofoborh. Hopefully he can get back playing football, and he can finally get the appreciation for the fans and actually go out there and pull on the Rangers shirt. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Everyone else is fully fit and ready to go and ready to be picked if selected by Steven Gerrard. And that right there has actually gave us the perfect transition away from the team news to get to the old prediction. So now you know a little bit more about the upcoming fixture. What's your thoughts on it? How you feeling? And what is your prediction? Make sure you get involved down there in the old comment section below. I'm going to be honest, I always find it tough whenever we go up to old Ross County, and if I'm honest with you, I'm expecting a bit of a game as well. I think we are going to play better. I think we're going to create some things, but seeing how they lined up and how they tried to approach the game for Hibs, I think it's going to be even worse than that versus Rangers. So I'm actually going to go with just a very, very solid, and I'll take a solid 2-0 win versus Ross County. Goal scorers are going to be none other than Kemar Roofe and Alfredo frickin' Morelos. My camera's just run out. Genuinely, it's run out as I'm finishing up today's video. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached the end, as I was just saying. If you did get involved in the old comment section below, I will be speaking to you very, very shortly. But until then, I've been TJ Over 92. Rocky's actually doing the stairs today, chilling. So he's that bored of the old videos. He's actually left me now. That's fantastic. But anyway, until next time, I'll see you tomorrow after the game. Take care of yourselves. All the best, and bye-bye.